am so glad you've decided to join us again for another non-dairy, vegan, plant-based cooking class. We're going to do another breakfast. We've done a couple other breakfasts previous to this, so if you have missed them, make sure you go back. And there's some lunches and some dinners and a couple desserts. So if this is the first time you've joined us, make sure you go back and see our other videos. And then please let us know if you like them, if you've tried them. And then join us for the next time. By the time you see this, it's going to be right around Christmas time. I don't know if it's going to be a couple days before Christmas or a couple days after. So I decided we're going to do a Christmas theme breakfast. And we have gingerbread waffles. Some of you are probably going, oh, no, I don't like gingerbread. And others of you are like going, oh, that sounds so good. Well, this is one of those recipes you can probably modify, leave out the ginger, add more cinnamon. It's just up to you. But these are really good waffles. Okay, we're going to start with, instead of eggs, we're going to do flax eggs. I've taken a tablespoon of flax seed and added a couple tablespoons of water, have let it set. It's going to be the first thing that we put in here. If you let it set for a bit, then it will help to thicken. And it kind of becomes an egg consistency. And then with that, I'm going to add about a cup of milk, soy milk, almond milk, your favorite type of plant-based milk. Stir it up. And some pumpkin. And it says a scant third of a cup of brown sugar. I did a fourth of a cup. I don't know how you do a scant. So I just measured in a quarter cup. And with this recipe, you could probably even put less or just leave it out altogether because it does also have molasses. This is going to be a sticky mess. Come on. And I don't think my spatula, well, okay. A little bit of oil. And then stir it together. So there aren't any lumps, and I still want the rest of that molasses. I suppose I could just stand here. Okay, the dry ingredients. We've got a cup and a half, I believe, cup and a quarter of, it says whole wheat pastry flour. I just have whole wheat flour. And some baking powder. I'm going to put it all into the same container. Teaspoon of cinnamon and a teaspoon of ginger. Mix it in. It says to sift it together. Well, I didn't have a sifter, so it's going to get stirred. Okay. See how much of, try not to make a mess. And then in the meantime, you need to take your waffle iron, get it out, plug it in so it can be hot. I would guess that if you don't have a waffle iron, you could probably make this into pancakes. I know there are some people who don't like waffles, but they like pancakes, or vice versa. So I don't see why you couldn't use the same recipe, this recipe for either one. Okay. Make sure it's all mixed in well. One thing I have found that when I mix wet ingredients and dry ingredients together, sometimes there's dry ingredients that get stuck to the spoon. Waffle iron. Spray it lightly. The recipe also says to let this set for a little bit, but doing this I don't have to, can't really let it set because you are anxious to see what this is going to look like, aren't you? I am. Push it out to the edges. Make it all nice and pretty. And we're going to close the lid. And we should have a waffle in just a couple minutes. But while I'm waiting on the green light to come on, I know that there are some of you who say, well, that might sound good for supper, but let me give you some comments about breakfast, because I know there's going to be some of you who are going, I don't eat breakfast, or I don't have time for breakfast. Yeah, my cameraman's sitting back there nodding his head. Did you know that breakfast is the most important meal of the day? There's several reasons, and if you want to Google it, whatever search engine you have, you're going to come up with all sorts of reasons as to why you should eat breakfast. Number one, if you go to bed around 10 o'clock and you get up around 6 or 7, that's how many hours that you have not eaten anything? 7, 8. Some of you who get up a little later, 9 or 10 hours, you haven't eaten anything. So that's why the first meal of the day is called break fast. It's the meal that you're breaking the fast from not eating. Bet you hadn't thought about that. And so by eating breakfast, it will help you not be so wanting to eat snacks a little later. You're thinking, oh, I'm hungry. I've got a couple hours until lunch. Well, I'm just going to have this bag of chips or a handful of something else. Eating a good breakfast will help to eliminate you wanting to snack later, because most of the time our snacks are not healthy. It will increase your energy level. It increases your metabolism. It helps your heart health. It reduces cravings and just wanting to eat something else even later in the day. So that's why it's good to eat breakfast. Now I know there's some of you, because of your schedule, some of you college kids who are going, I don't have time for breakfast. Well, in a roundabout way, I'm that way too. But here's what I do. I don't use this, I'm going to start using this one because it sounds good. But I have a recipe at home of waffles that I like. And I modify it. Sunday mornings, or maybe every other Sunday, I will make a batch of waffles. And so one bowl ends up being 13 or 14 squares of waffles. They go in the freezer. So I get up in the morning, I take 1 or 2 out, I put it in the toaster, I get ready. When the toaster pops up, well, my little toaster oven, I put on some peanut butter, a little bit of fresh fruit sauce, get my lunch, I'm in the car, and I eat on the way to work. Because I don't like getting up early in the morning, and I've already had to be up an hour. So anyway, because I exercise a bit before breakfast also. So you could do things like that. Make a batch of waffles. Maybe you've got a long evening. Make some waffles. Make pancakes. One of the other recipes that we had was a coffee cake. You could make a modified version of that and cut them into squares, put them into Ziploc bags, put them in the freezer. The night before, take it out, let it set on the counter or in the refrigerator, let it unthaw. Guess what? You have breakfast. Grab a banana or some other type of fruit, off you go. Something else that is easy to do, get a pint jar holds about 2 cups. And put a half a cup of oats, or if you want more than that, a little bit more oats into the jar. Add some water, maybe a little milk. Something I do, I'll add some cinnamon, or another time I'll add some vanilla. You can get peanut butter powder. I'm addicted to peanut butter. So I'll put some peanut butter powder in one time, stir it up, leave it on the counter, go to bed. In the morning, I take the lid off the jar, put it in the microwave for a minute, take it out, breakfast is done. So maybe that will give you some ideas for those of you who go, I don't have time in the morning to make breakfast. Well, I can help you out on that. I just gave you all sorts of ideas. And if you want more ideas, or you're thinking, well, what about this, what about that, feel free in the comments to ask questions, and I can maybe give you some extra ideas, or we can talk about this a bit more. Know what? It looks like this waffle is done. At least the green light. Ooh, it's a little dark, but that's okay. Okay. Reach over here. Pull the waffle out. Yes, it's hot. There we go, one hot waffle. And it looks like this batter will make probably 2 more of these, maybe 3. But anyway, I know most people go, well, I'm going to put syrup on my waffle. Have you looked to see how much sugar is in syrup? My favorites are fruit sauce. And I thought, this time of year, what goes with this type of flavor? And I thought, it's apple season. How about some applesauce? You don't have to make your own, but you can go to the store and buy unsweetened applesauce. And put that, I'm not going to put it on here because I don't want it to mess it up right now, but I've got some unsweetened applesauce, and you can put it on and smear it on, and you have breakfast. Please let us know if you've tried this recipe, if you have ideas of how to make it better, because we like to hear your responses. Enjoy the waffles. Thank you.